Dun, 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 dun. Woo! InShalla and Ashe. I am Tonya D, holistic Sha'medium and subtle energetic surgeon, merging the indigenous technologies with the energetic field centers and a few pathways there. And welcome to Mystical Monday. It's the daily snippet, and we are having what is called a Grand Master Day. That's when the energy of the day is actually congruent with the energy of the season being Sagittarius out there on the cosmic highway. And if you have been in the threads of limiting beliefs, it truly is a time to release them and recalibrate that story. It's a combination of what I would call the jewel or the gem, the golden jewel, the golden heart, the queen, our feelings, the emotion. It's when our feelings feel it. And when our heart feels it, we actually know it to be true. That is Jupiter. So it's a day just to allow these feelings that are authentic, or the authenticity of our heart that even comes from our hearts, placing upon us or upon you a pathway, an adventure that has these unlimited otherworldly possibilities. So with that, today we have what is called, ding, ding, there we go. We have a Yin Wood Day with a goat on the branch, the greatest of all time, a goat. What a saying, you know, especially for all the goats out there. So the goat today has storage of wood energy in the branch. So for our day, that yin water on the month really supports and nourishes our day. The energy of the heavenly stem, the metal energy, the yang metal, actually feeds the branch, which in turn goes ahead and feeds the day. So we have some flow. However, we need some minor water there and the wood. We need both of those. And I'm really not too worried about the fire, as fire is a spirit of its own, all of the spirits, and we just really need a little to get the action kind of moving. You could possibly light a candle. I know my house at the moment is actually looking very candle lit, but the goat, you know, the energy of the goat, you know, if it's positive, it's absolutely strong. You have like great work ethic. You carry out all of your responsibilities and your duties. You're somebody who could be really counted on every day, and you have to compete kind of everything or complete everything to the very end. And if not, you know, you don't mind working overtime or putting in some, what I would say, some weekend hours. So you really are the boss's best employee or the husband's best wife or the other way around. So, you know, you're careful with your diet and with also with who you choose to associate with. You might read health articles, you probably read labels, and you're really disciplined in your ability to stay away from foods or products that really aren't the greatest for us. But also in the same way, you're kind of also meticulous in who you associate yourself with. So, you know, you don't only take on new friends without putting them through some intense questioning if they happen to pass that. And you know what your responsibilities are, and you actually carry them out on time and all the time. So you take this path that really leads to empowering yourself. Negatively, though, if you're born in the early afternoon, that's the energy of the goat between 1 and 3 p.m., you kind of have persecution problems, especially if your parents raised you to feel that you weren't the greatest or they didn't raise you that way. And you could also succeed at really anything that you chose to do or wanted to do. So you could either perceive yourself as a victim of your experiences and victimize others in that process. That's in the extreme negative aspects. You know, sometimes our environment is our enemy, and you can have environmental energies. That's why it's great to do some cosmic cleanup, if you will. And if that's the case, sometimes you never leave the house because of the environment. So this is really the time of day when people are watching sports of any kind, activities generally, which is kind of appropriate, you know, when you think about it. That's when we recognize that it's a time of day to really engage in our activity that really produces that victorious moment. You could also use your victimization to play out upon others' emotions as well. Even at one point, if you remember Tonya Harding, not myself, but she was actually born around 2:30 p.m. And this one seems to actually kind of flow into the best when I'm explaining this energy. It didn't matter the merits of her personal involvement with the energy of the goat or the sheep operating negatively in her life. The media actually reported that she had a challenging childhood, and those challenges could have planted those seeds of this poor me, and then the perks that we unwittingly perceive as positive by being the victim within our subconsciousness. So even if the time isn't accurate, there's an element of the goat or the sheep in her life somewhere where this energy got acted out. So I kind of would say I was consider, not myself taking in a client, possibly be born between those hours, especially if their victim role is highly otherworldly developed, because they're not living on the positive side of responsibility. Simply because they project their this energy, it's not going to be beneficial. So they won't be moving forward. They'll actually be blaming possibly myself, saying it would be my fault because they didn't want to look at the victorious side. So it could possibly have anything to do with the mindset, right? So the antidote for this, actually, it's our small intestine is actually associated as a discriminator, and it takes the food and decides just what is healthy and should continue on through our energetic system, and what should be eliminated through our large intestine. So we tend to, or we need to be discriminating, and oftentimes we've been taught in this generation not to discriminate. But bigotry and discrimination are actually two different things. To discriminate is actually to discern, to be refined, the refinement, to kind of separate the wheat from the chaff in life. And yes, as a culture, we aren't really allowed to discriminate. Then in our bodies, energetically, they're going to mirror that energy. So if we keep eating, say, the cheesecake and eliminate the tofu, because we can't differentiate between the two, what's good for us and actually what isn't good for us. So if the small intestine receives the same food over and over and over again, it really gets tired of sending the same thing in the same direction. And it really wants variety in life, and in life, the variety of life and in life as well. So as in the food that's getting distributed. So to become empowered by life in our quest, that's kind of the thing. So the sheep energy needs to know what's really good for them and also what is not good for them. And they also need to take the correct or the right action to really be responsible for their own behavior. And we all have this energy somewhere in the arena of our lives. So you kind of want to ask yourself, possibly, where do you feel victimized, needing to find that win-win in a situation and not fall into the poor me attitude? It's like getting the memo so you're not on that hamster wheel, whether it's eating bad food or your friends are constantly negative or you're the negative, so it's reaffirming the juice in your life, the positivity. So this also is an area where we seek to refine ourselves. So the area where we can be victimized unless we act in a higher philosophy or a higher manner. So this area where we are ultimately victorious. So with all of the elemental and the cosmic energy today, it's really a day to refine our future, hold the space, and give it time. But we're kind of defining the line, so things are going into a new motion, a new flow, possibly shifting a belief or recalibrating one for today. So seriously, I would affirm I am victorious and see the positivity on the other side of that possible victimness. So the goat, on the day, it's the vitality of nature that really transforms, and it's time to really adjust the instruments. So if your environment is self-loathing, this is the outer world, not our inner. But if you are struggling to believe in yourself and your inner world, it's like, who in the outer world is actually your cheerleader, cheering you on? In the environment. So if you have people that are disrupting your juice or really taking your juice, they shouldn't really be in the circus, the energy, it's like you're finally going to get the memo and really bolster up your light, make it bright. It's kind of a time to bring in your warrior self and be authentic to yourself. It's time to really adventure and explore and just expand into insights that are truly unknown and really take the path that hasn't been traveled on. And we really need to create a magical space for our emotions. Those are our thread lines of the juice. Emotion is energy in motion. Are they flowing? Do they have an energetic hiccup? So divinations are just a great way to open up to the forces of adversity and really get you into the flow. I'm just bringing that in. Divinations are just a great way. And we need to ground our feelings up to and through this full moon. This is really a galactic full moon. Not only is it just galactic, but it's on the galactic center. And also for me, my sun and the moon are actually going to be exact for this full moon. So that's going to really, for myself, give me this lightning bolt of juice from the universe. So it's really going to be galactic juicy. So truly ground yourself, especially if you feel like your emotions are chasing the wave. And then you kind of know, just following and going where the fun is, where the joy is, because our heart itself, that is the joy grid line, right? So it's going to take us down a path out into the world that's super juicy. And just know, whatever that looks like for you, you can really get online and explore possibly a new travel destination, or really find and hang out with people that are super juicy as well. Go shopping, go somewhere new, go somewhere different. Even try a different type of coffee or a different type of tea. So if you have planned, something, just insert some juice in that plan and really have some fun in that pathway. Maybe even stop and just take a breath of fresh air, acknowledge the environment, the physical environment, the trees, nature. That's kind of where I go. And get in tune with the snow. If you have snow, if you're snowshoeing or you're going out snowshoeing, just bring some chocolate. That'll really open up our third eye. It has to be really dark, dark chocolate, by the way. So just kind of muse about that for a minute. And just playing with our heart channel, our heart center, our God channel, the spark inside of us, along with our foundation, with our feelings being nurtured, and just really just take it for a day to really imagine where this path will really take you to this otherworldly, hopefully, experience. And also, one that really leaves you believing something different about the future potentials on your pathway. So it's just a great day where our worldview, our perspective, look through the eyes from a mountaintop view, something different, especially about the future, a future that you would really more likely want to be in. So we're going to go to come away with more questions sometimes than answers, but I always prefer to stay curious myself, just by experiencing and stretching all these unlimited possibilities. You could possibly feel a little crazy as well, but in this aspect, it opens up all of our channels into these gateways for these opportunities of truly what's next. So just I would always stay curious and let curiosity be the beacon of your heart, and be that observer, be in your observation station, and just observe what you truly want your life story to be, and also more importantly what that feels like, because the juice really is in our feelings. And what is that love feeling like, and just make sure that both of them, your heart and your feelings, are really resonating and merging together. So just really, you want to ultimately stay in your heart center, but also feel into the feelings that are bubbling up, and exploring and just navigating through curiosity. I just knew a new set of eyes, and really getting on top of the mountain to have that perspective and a higher elevated consciousness, and just literally just see what pops in, just so you know. So it's a day really to explore our ideas that our heart is actually the most authentically attracted to, and just being a beacon of light and adding creativity. That's the ingredient in our cosmic soup that lights us up and just open up to ideas that possibly might feel not so normal, things that you normally wouldn't open up to. And that possibility, it's kind of different. It's kind of like lettuce, for example. If you're always doing iceberg lettuce, for example, try something different, just so you really know. And ground your feelings and open your heart and get that mountaintop perspective to explore a future for all of it. Make it super juicy. So we also might have a cosmic twist today. Something in our story, our life story, or the narrative, the chapter that we've been kind of saying to ourselves. We're literally at this turning point where we're like squishing the juice out of the lemon, and our plot is going to literally twist. It's going to open a new doorway by just walking into an unknown, finding ourselves with this elevated perspective it's going to be otherworldly. So just really, really have some fun and enjoy the juice. So our third eye is actually online as well. So the juice is activated to get some color in there. So I would say, shades of blue, the sky, the ocean, the deeper blues, even the deep cosmic purples or navies, etc. Add some blueberries to your salad. Oh my gosh. I just realized, for myself, again, not to just talk about my juicy self, but Jupiter is in Aquarius right now, and it is actually trining my sun sign at the same degree. So I really am kind of in the cosmic juice of goodness right now. And the moon herself, the goddess, is in Aries. So our ego is online with our emotions. So there's no need to be kind of ego juicy, just be heart juicy, the spiritual heart versus the spiritual ego. Two different energetics there, frequencies. But if you know what I mean with that. But the goat is on the branch as well. So we have the sound of silence, the Om channel, the sound of fire, the Ha, the heat of the Ha, and just align awesome. I have candles, one sitting right here. It's jumping at me, but candles are great for this. A colored candle, I would maybe do green or blues for the water. The sound of leaves, the swishing or the shishing of the leaves, or just imagine the leaves floating through the air. The sound of water, you could literally just turn on an indoor fountain if you have one as well to bring in that frequency and that energy. Or, if it's okay in your village where you're sitting, go sit by a river or a pond or something and really tune into the frequency of the juice of water. In the stone of the day, which is super juicy, I brought in Grape Agate. So this is super juicy. It's a stone of both internal and external energies. Let me get that on here. Let's get rid of this, I believe, and add that. There we go. Doesn't that just look super grape juicy? And it's purple, and it's, opening up also our third eye. So it really helps to strengthen our connection with our higher self. And it's said to actually imbue the owners with the gift of intuition, knowledge, self-discovery. It's just a helpful tool for like introspection and also meditation as well. Because the color purple, and the shape in which it kind of occurs in, grape agate is known to vibrate at a higher frequency. So this means that the stone is particularly helpful for people who engage in higher or metaphysical endeavors like mediums and scribes, therapists, healers of any kind. It's really said to connect people with the higher divine voice, possibly a guardian angel, a spirit guide, just all these other powerful beings, not from this world. And that's kind of where Voices of the Other World is going to kind of go into, literally connecting with these frequencies and energies that are otherworldly. But we could really use this stone for both our internal and our external expansion. Because, like I said, it brings in the gift of intuition as well. But it also expands our consciousness towards the truth and the wisdom of the galactic universe, which is also a Jupiter energy. It's also a Sagittarian energy as well. And it transforms the self into its higher form so it can constantly be aware and live in the present, like in the now. It's also, it's really beneficial as well for not just our third eye, but also our crown. So it governs our intuition and this universal galactic connection. And it also enhances our etheric, which I love because I do a lot of my work in the etheric realm. So it unlocks our psychic abilities. It includes the ability to really interpret our dreams, which is fire elemental, and heal our soul through those dreams. So it also, promotes clarity and vividness when healing through dream work and also in the corporal world, which is connected actually to metal energy. So it's just this higher octave frequency, and it also connects with the number 9, which is our soul's harmonic. So this stone today is just amazing for all the juiciness of the energy of today in retrospect. So, I would also, bring it in to meditate possibly with as well. Now, the cards of the day I picked, the first one here, I went with my Seer's, the Light Seer Tarot, but the 6 of Cups. So you might be experiencing possibly some nostalgia, maybe even feelings triggered by old memories. I found it curious when looking at it. We've got this young child with this puppy, and then we see this same person. The puppy is grown and the person is an adult possibly. So bringing in those old memories, it's a time really to forgive ourselves by releasing any residual guilt that we might carry from our past relationships, trauma, even previous actions that we've done. Missteps is what I call them, energetic missteps. And just accept our humanness and stop lamenting in the decisions that we've actually made up until this moment, especially because we have the ability today to recalibrate our chapter, our story in our lives. So memories that come up, they might be really a profound tool to process these lessons and also the healing that we can imbue. So just really highlight how far you've actually come and know that growth can shine beauty literally wherever we're headed next on our earth journey. So it's time really is this beautiful essence where we can contemplate the needs of our own inner child and listen to the advice from our future self. So sometimes this card is literally really a message that someone from our past is going to re-enter our life, which is curious as well. So it's this perfect moment to really reconnect with old kindred spirits and kind of reminisce as well. So when we connect with all these moments on our timeline, we're going to truly find our authentic wholeness. So, so just it's kind of a card of nostalgia, just really reconnecting with people from our past and really recognizing the harmony and the themes of our life and also our inner child, which also is part of the moon. So along with our inner self, cascading us to our future self. So it's being that it's a year of peace, and the Dagara, be at peace with your past and recalibrate and find that clarity. So, it really has brought us to where we are meant to be at the current thread lines. And then we have, let me get rid of that one. We have the Knight of Swords, which I don't know if I've ever actually had this card before, but it's super magical. It's the Knight. So it has this one thing. The Knight has one thing on their minds, and they're always running towards success. This is like mineral and metal energy as well. It's the swords, So it's like restructuring the structure. It's energy of metal, right? So we can kind of determine our passionate selves and our intelligent self. And it really has the intensity that sometimes it's really often hard to really grasp. So with grace, and also speed, you can turn a dime. And, it's when turning the dime, we have this energy to success. And with that success, we have this sound logic, the sound of the logic within it. So, are you bringing your beliefs and your competitive assertiveness into a situation, whatever that looks like? And really, how determined are you to accomplish this? So we have, this kind of goes with the energy of the goat as well. Always doing your best and being in that positivity. So, to really charge ahead of ourselves with quick thinking, which is Mercury, and also strategic decision making, which is the energy of metal. So just striving for excellence in every single day and every single thing in order to bring a little of this magic really into our lives, and we have all these other powerful energies. So you kind of might even run the risk of being possibly overly forceful or domineering. So really just be careful not to hurt others with your impatience to win. If you're feeling scattered because this is reversed, or distracted, maybe even blocked, really spend time organizing your thoughts, which ones truly matter at the moment, and just make sure that all your energy is kind of hurtling into the same direction. It's in the flow. So this is kind of like saying we might come from a place of being and also focus that energy, because if we have scattered energy, maybe we're acting too quickly and we could possibly just need a more logical solution. Maybe we're feeling held back by frustrating circumstances and we're stalling, or, for me, it's as if the world is literally stood still from last week, but just being kind of hard edged and emotionally unavailable or even unpredictable in a way. So, just kind of move quickly to assist others. And as you do this, this is what your dreams will expand as well. So it's really like who we help really helps us in the corridor. So it's that combination. And then the last card I have for the day is the King of Swords, this is like this intelligent energy. It's diplomatic. It's leadership, leading with facts and being more rational, or rational. Yeah. Just, it's more of our logical mind and bringing in scientific principles, I guess, more facts, and having an affinity more for rules and thoughts. This is kind of suggesting that we find our clarity before we take our next step, like seeing through new eyes. And even though, this energy is always seeking more data, more information to improve, but it's also knowing that blending the experience with more inventiveness, of blending intelligence with the emotional and also the spiritual in that cosmic soup energy, that usually brings in and allows more of a balanced success. I'm always talking about kneading the dough and the ingredients. So when you have these ingredients that are higher elevated, a mountaintop view, the success is easier. So, just be courageous in the pursuit of your path, your journey, whatever you're doing, and find your own kind of method and your own confidence and your own authority by knowing your way rather than just feeling your way. But it's a combination. So being that it really is in shadow, it might even suggest using knowledge to really kind of take advantage of others as well. So just be truthful in your communication. It really is time to assist others in a way that's really honest rather than being manipulative. So it's like finding your own wisdom within the experiences, and then we can become the success or the engineer kneading the dough of our lives. So then we're more confident, we have clear thinking, and you're really going to find that success. So, it could also be somebody trying to manipulate you as well, showing off their intelligence, or even having rigidness in their thinking, being cold or even calculating. So, it's a day to really make an intelligent and wise decision about your future, all of our futures really as well. So with all of that, the juice is really on to ultimately open up to the galactic greater universe and really start the channel to believe in yourself with the juice of the goat and the energy of wood, which is also a Jupiterian energy as well. So really be victorious. There's no need to be a victim. So if your village is one of victim mode, you might need to really cleanse your village. Cleaning out the cosmic cobwebs, reorganizing a room. It just makes us feel better when we start cleaning up, right? And we also deserve better. And, so it is. So I would affirm literally that I am in the juice of self love today, opening to the channel to these unlimited otherworldly possibilities. And in doing so, just feeling literally through your heart space and believing in what you're observing. So, everybody has a unique gift, and they're all as unique as our thumbprints. They're individual, it's our spark. So if you have yet really to explore Voices of the Other World, that is ready in my corridor. You can find that on my events page as well, or it's at clubtonyad.tv/VOW, vow, vow, literally taking a vow to yourself. But really make it a grounded day. Feel into your heart space, feel into your emotions, even have a conversation with them, and see if they resonate with a higher octave galactic in your channel. And again, just make it a grounded day. InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you. And I will see you on the other side.